Hi guys, Samantha from Jessama Tutorials here, and today I'm going to show you how to bake your pieces correctly so that you don't get any scorches, burns, shiny spots or anything of that sort. So here is a pendant that is ready to go in the oven, and it's already got its back all nice and textured, the front's all nice and smooth, and so it's all ready to go. Now, before you pop it in the oven, you want to put a ceramic tile, a glazed ceramic tile in your oven, and this will keep the temperature nice and regular. Then you want to take your pendant and you want to put it on a piece of plain printing paper or greaseproof paper on top of the ceramic tile, just like this. Then you want to either fold your greaseproof paper like this. Let me get the fold right. There we go, and that's generally what I like to do. You either want to fold it like that so you're tenting it, or you want to get another piece of paper and place it over the top so you're tenting it. I wouldn't advise using a foil tent because it can interfere with the temperature of the oven. I haven't had very good experience with it. I always tent with paper. And if you're doing a domed bead, that's fine. All you do is, let me just take that off. You just take a piece of paper, crease it like that, and then place it over the domed bead like that. And that will tent your domed bead, and it also won't touch your domed bead because it's creased, and so it will form a little tent. Also, if your bead is flat, you might want to consider baking it with another ceramic tile on top of it to keep it nice and flat and remove air bubbles and things like that. But personally, I like to just bake it like this in the oven for a full hour at whatever brands I'm using's recommended temperature. Always use an oven thermometer, as that will also help. And what I like to do is I like to put a test piece of clay. So I would just take a small snippet of clay that I'm not going to use like this, and I'll put this in the oven first before I put my actual pendant in, and I will bake that for a full hour and in the same tenting environment, and then I'll take it out. If it's yellowed, my temperature is obviously too high, so I'll drop my temperature and give it another go to see if it's okay. If I can snap it and it's not nice and flexible, then my temperature is too low and I will raise it. And I'll use just a chip of clay like this, and I'll use a few chips of leftover clay to get my temperature the exact right temperature before I put any of my beads in. Once I've got my temperature just right, then I'll start baking my beads. So if you're having trouble with getting your temperature just right, just take a tiny little chip, something that you haven't worked on or anything like that, something that's very replaceable and doesn't matter if it gets ruined. Use that to test your oven temperature before you actually put in something that you've worked on like this. So I'll go pop this in the oven and I'll show you exactly what it looks like after an hour of baking, just like this. Okay, so I thought that I would show you what my oven actually looks like and how I bake it so you can see the exact setup. So you can see that I use a toaster oven. I do not use my own kitchen oven because it's not very good for you to bake polymer clay in the same oven that you cook in. Then you can see that I have this metal rack with a ceramic tile on it. The ceramic tile is the largest that I can possibly get in my oven, as it keeps my temperature stable, and so it's a really good thing to have. I've removed all other metal from the oven. The rack is the only thing in the oven because I need it there to balance my ceramic tile. So trays and everything out of the oven. Then I pop my bead in there just like that. Close the door. I always check the temperature to make sure it's the same temperature as I baked it last time, and then I bake for a full hour. And I like the ovens that have a timer because sometimes you're busy, and I know a lot of ovens, they don't actually have a timer, and so you can easily switch on the oven and forget to time your piece, and then you will bake it for too long. And although if you're baking at the right temperature, your bead won't burn and bubble and things like that. It will go a little bit yellow as time goes on. So it's better to bake it for the correct amount of time. So I always have a timer. I never turn to the stay on knob. I always turn it to the correct amount of time that I want it to be in the oven. And that way my bead always bakes at the correct amount of time, never too long, never too short. Also, I always bake from cold. I never preheat my oven. Now this might be something that you like to do. There's nothing wrong with preheating the oven. I'm just saying that I bake from the oven being cold and I've never had trouble with it, so don't be worried about that. So I'm going to bake that for a full hour now, and then when it is finished I will show you what it looks like. Okay, so my pieces have finished baking after an hour. I added some more pieces into the oven. Now I've let this sit and cool down for maybe around 15 minutes just to make sure that it's cool enough for me to touch. And here we go. You can see all of the pieces in there. So let's take them over to a desk so you can see what they look like. Okay, and so here are our pieces after they have been in the oven for a full hour. You can see that our translucent in the watercolor has gone translucent and cleared up, and it's really created a lot of depth in our piece. The mica shift has deepened as well, so there's a lot more depth in there as well. And they're all nice and tidy. They're fairly smooth as well, as you can see. They do need a sand, of course, but they're pretty nice and smooth and good to go. Backs could do a little bit of sanding. They all could do a bit of sanding, but they're all nice and smooth and good to go, ready for sanding and finishing. So that's basically how I bake my pieces in the oven. If you have any questions about this video, please do ask them in the comments and I will try to respond to them as best I can. If you think I left out anything in this video and would like to see it in another video, please let me know and I will get to that as soon as I possibly can. And so I do hope this was helpful to you. If it was, please do consider liking this tutorial. That would be super helpful. And if you would like more tutorials like this one and would like to keep up to date with my channel, please do subscribe, as I do post videos every single week and I'm sure you won't want to miss a thing. And as always, I will see you in the next tutorial. Bye for now.